just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada now brings you Philippine NARS, news and features about the Filipino-American nursing community and beyond. And now, here's your host, Doris Bauer.
Well, hello to all of you Philippine NARS listeners and followers. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you are enjoying this cooling down weather temperature. You know, it's getting to be, well, it's fall now anyway, especially here in Las Vegas. And I hope that you're doing well with the new surge of COVID cases. And as you know, Philippine NARS is brought to you by the PNANV, the Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada, in collaboration with PHLV Radio. So today, we are going to talk about achieving financial wellness. Nursing is a very rewarding profession, offering considerable personal and professional rewards. But it can also impose barriers into achieving financial wellness. And a lot of nurses start usually their careers burdened with significant financial debt, possibly from their student loans. So although nurses can earn very well, typically above the national average salary for occupations, they have to pay the essential work-related items like, your shoes, your scrubs, your stethoscopes, out of pocket without reimbursement. So nurses who work on a per diem basis also usually do not qualify for retirement plans, health insurance, or other financial benefits. So of the full-time salaried employees. So they often experience stressful working conditions, irregular hours, emotional strain, leaving them with little time or energy to do financial planning. So today we have invited two special people from the World Financial Group, Transamerica, to talk about financial wellness. So please welcome Mr. Mo Elahi and Ms. Shelly Reyes are all the way from San Francisco. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, good. So, Mo, let's talk about you.
All right.
Yeah, Mo is a dynamic force in the world of financial services and personal development, and he is a registered representative of Transamerica Financial Advisors. You want to talk more about yourself?
Sure. Thank you for having us, number one, Doris.
Sure.
Thank you so much. We met a month and a half or 2 months ago or something like that at the event, and we appreciate you having us. My name is Mo Elahi. I am from Fresno, California. And I'm a dad. I have a best friend who's 9 years old, my son.
Aww.
And is actually, I want to give a quick shout out. His birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, my goodness.
He's going to be 10 years old. So happy birthday to him.
What's his name?
His name is Hadis.
Hadis, happy birthday.
Elahi, yes.
Happy birthday.
And I was originally born in Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
And just like every other family, we immigrated here to the United States when I was very young. I lost my dad also when I was very young, and then I was raised by my mom. And my mom always said three things. So she gave us really good advice on this is what you got to do. You got to get a good education, and education was a super important piece of our family. Just like all other Asian American families, right?
Right.
And then she said, get a good job and work really hard. So we did all of that, but we were missing a piece of financial education. And so I got on the road of wanting to learn more, and led me to the path that God led me to the path that I'm here today. sitting with you,
Awesome.
talking about financials. So.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, my dad said the same thing years ago. He's passed on now. He said, I am not a very rich man, but the only thing I can give you is for you to finish your education.
Yes. Very smart man.
Yeah, thank you.
Very wise man.
Thank you for being here, Mo. And of course, Miss Shelly Reyes, she's a financial advisor. She is also a registered nurse, right? You're a charge nurse at the pediatric surgery department. And so you're also a special needs mom. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Sure.
And thank you also for having us. Thank you for inviting us here. So I am Shelly Reyes, and I've been a nurse for 24 years now. And I have a special needs son, so I'm an autism mom as well. Because of all of that, I have a lot of access to the resources out there. I built a program called George's Pass, and it helps kids with autism and special needs go through the hospital experience. And through that, we've been able to help many families and have a better experience. And then we've extended that to the zoo, and we're going to museums, but we're trying to overall provide something better to take care of kids better. So we've been able to do that. And I'm happy to say we're going to go global. And in next year, Nashville will be able to present the program and share that so that other facilities can do that as well. There's families out there that need help and kids out there that need to have a better experience. So a lot of us nurses don't know about that. So I've been able to be blessed to share that. But with that and all the resources that I have and being a huge advocate, for me, I need financial education for my family, for my son. And that's how I got into this company. I mean, I've been a nurse for 24 years, and I would have never thought that I would become a financial educator. But because of my business partner, Mo, who, through our company, set up a plan for my family. We thought we did everything for my son, and that was the missing piece. Looking ahead to the future was one piece that we were afraid to look at. And we were afraid, what happens to my special needs child when I'm gone? Yeah. We didn't know who to go to. We didn't know who we could trust, and we didn't know, honestly, if we had anything to leave. And so we were always worried. So we would do everything that we could, but we never thought, okay, what happens when we're gone? And so when I met with Mo and the company, he sat us down, had an honest conversation with us, and set up a plan, which I thought that we would never have. And so because of that, we finally had the piece. I remember when he helped us and our family, we finally looked at each other that night. My husband and I were like, so this is the peace of mind that other people talk about. But it became so big and so profound for us and impactful to us that I asked him, hey, can you help us? Can you help us, and can we help other families like mine? But then it also became other nurses like me, because tying into that as well for healthcare workers, I thought that my kids were going to be okay. I thought through my 403 that I would retire and I would have this wonderful retirement, because you give so much, you work so hard.
Yes.
And you think they're going to take care of you. The best retirement package is waiting for you. And I found out through education, through our company, and through all of this that we weren't.
Yeah.
That we weren't. So I'm happy to say that through all this education. So now I'm a financial educator with him, and we do education in our community and through for special needs and for nurses.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, Filipinos would love to be part of your going global with George's Pass. So we'll talk about that. But anyway, that's very, very noble. So anyway, okay. So tell us about your company. And what is World Global Financial Group actually and Transamerica, are they the same group, separate groups, or what?
So the marketing side of the business is called World Financial Group, and then Transamerica Financial Advisors is one of the providers, and that's who I'm a registered rep with, is the Transamerica Financial Advisors. So they're like a sister company, you can call it.
Okay.
And we help people, we educate people. We educate people how to save money, grow money, be able to do better. We believe that education is the key. Just like my mom, I always go back to my mom. The reason we came into this country and to be able to do better is because we can have education. And education gets us to where we're at. So I feel like, like a lot of nurses, they come in, they work very hard, they get a great education, they end up with wonderful jobs, but then nobody teaches them about the financial piece, the financial literacy piece, and so that's where we come in, where we can help educate everybody,
Yeah.
and especially our healthcare workers. And I'm blessed to have so many my brother's in healthcare, my sister's in healthcare. We have so many family members in healthcare. I feel like I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm the only one, I think, in my immediate family that is not in healthcare. So,
Well, it's okay. A lot of Filipinos as well, so I guess it's the same in your culture. Every time we come out or we have a conversation with other people, are you a nurse?
Yes.
They ask you that. That's the very first question that they ask you. Yeah, and if you say no, I'm like, what happened to you?
How'd you get off course?
what happened? Who got a hold of her?
That's so funny.
So we set up retirement plans, 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, 7702s. We help people with all of that.
Okay.
All of those things, yeah.
Good. So, how are you different than the other agents or in different same companies, financial companies?
So I feel like there's a lot of so-called financial planners out there, and I feel like there's a lot of financial people out there that are wanting to sell a product, right? We do this survey every time we sit with a healthcare provider. We always say, and I'm going to ask you, and you don't have to answer it, but we always say, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your understanding of your financial plan? What do you think the most common answer is, Doris, amongst healthcare workers, especially
3?
nurses? You're absolutely correct.
Really?
It's 2.
2? Oh,
2
wow.
is the most common answer that we get. So that means there's a whole lot of improvement that needs to happen.
Yes.
They're all in their retirement programs at their work,
Yeah.
but yet the understanding is only a 2. If I was to ask you, what is your understanding of your ability to be a nurse on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say?
Well, probably way up there, closer to
Probably
10
a
mark.
10,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So why such a big difference? Why? Because there's no financial education. When you qualify for a retirement plan, what do they say? Here you go, fill it out, go pick some things. But they never educate you on those things are.
That is absolutely correct.
So one of the biggest difference between us and is that we do something called a financial needs assessment. I always tell people, I told my mom finally, I said, I became a doctor. And she looked at me like, what? I told her, I said, I became a doctor of money.
I fix things. For
Right?
Yeah, right?
So we do something called a financial needs assessment. So when we have somebody that says, Mo, I don't know what to do,
Yeah.
we say, great, let's get an assessment. Kind of like if you went to a doctor. You say, hey, this hurts or that hurts. They don't just immediately prescribe, at least not a good doctor would, right? They do an assessment. They do
Sure.
blood work. So we
Sure.
do the same thing.
Yeah.
We have a financial needs assessment. We take a holistic, comprehensive approach to financial education, because we believe that your situation, Doris, is different than Johan's, than Shelly's, than mine. So we need to have an assessment where we could determine what your needs are
I see.
and your family's needs, so that we can address them properly. Otherwise, we're just like signing you up for another product that you're not going to understand.
True. So we have Dr. Mo here and Nurse Shelly. That's right. That's very true. That's very true. And a lot of nurses, they don't really stay long at the job, so the financial benefits long term from one place of work to another, you lose it once you leave the job.
And you don't have to. There are ways that you can do that.
So good. All right, Dr. Mo.
That's his new name, Dr.
Yeah,
Mo.
that's your name. That's your new name. Hey, Mo's mom, his name's Dr. Mo.
That's right.
Okay. So, with the instability of the market, what are the challenges you think? What challenges do you think the nurses face?
I think COVID really had a huge negative market volatility effect for sure. For frontline workers, I mean, back in 2020, when everybody was staying home because they couldn't work anymore, we were still out there working hard, and then we were faced with a lot of the COVID, and we were starting to get sick. And I think a lot of our mortality became a reality. And I think for the most part, most of the time nurses are like, I'll just work. Or if I need money, I'll pick up an extra shift. I'll take some extra call. I have ways to make money. But then sometimes those ways were, people were losing jobs and getting laid off, and maybe we weren't even, the need wasn't in certain areas. We had a surgery department where we ended up with only, 4 patients because we had to cut things down. So I think it changed, I think the weight of where we put our faith in. We had a lot of faith in our job versus, what our retirement. And then our organizations, we thought were offering the best retirement piece for us, which they were not. So we had to look at it do I have enough? Is that going to be there for me later? What happens to me, right? And then, or our emergency funds. Do we have enough? And a lot of people, they didn't have enough. They were, I'll just make it on the next paycheck.
Or the next
or I'll make it up with it. I'll pick up a shift, where those types of things weren't there anymore. So I think it made us look at, will we be able to work if we get sick, number one? And if we did get sick, or we had an event where we couldn't do 2 of the 6 ADLs, right? What would we do? Because for the most part, I see a lot of Philippine nurses, they're the breadwinners.
Yeah.
So what happens when we are out of the picture? What happens when we're out of that equation? So I think it made us look at, wait a second, we need to really plan something now. So I think we were more about planning now and looking ahead. And I think knowing now that COVID is now not a pandemic but an endemic, we're realizing what's the next piece. And with COVID rising again, we really have to go back to, it's not over yet, right?
That is true. And, speaking of COVID, which, I was going to ask you guys, what were more of the financial challenges, that affected nurses after COVID? And you just basically answered most of that. I do know that during COVID, a lot of benefits were lost. If you were in the union, those benefits were lost as well. And so because you weren't working. And so I guess we do have to prepare for that for any type of pandemic, right?
For sure, right. And then also, and the long-term care piece finally became a priority. People realizing, okay, I'm taking care of everyone else. What happens if something happens to me? Who's going to take care of me?
Correct.
And I think because nurses automatically, innately are like service hearts. We take care of everybody else. We never think of ourselves ever, right? We just don't.
True.
We never do.
Even going to the bathroom, we put it off, right?
We will hold peeing for a 12-hour shift to make sure that our patients are taken care of.
Correct.
And I think that's just who we are, and then that just transcends into our finances. Oh, we'll get to it. That'll come. So now it's more like the urgency is there now for sure, I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
So plus, I don't know if you do know this, a lot of nurses had passed on and died because of COVID.
Because of COVID, right.
But a larger number, the majority of those who died that were nurses were Filipinos. And the reason because is these people, these nurses are so engaged in their job, they take on the intensive care jobs, or they belong to the intensive care units, and so, and that was those were the places where they actually took care of the COVID nurses, and so.
And that's why the Filipino nurses, everybody knows that they're there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Even though I'm not from the Philippines, but I feel like because I'm from Pakistan and similar mindsets, we want to take care of other people. And I feel like just to kind of add on to what Shelly said, I feel like that during the COVID, nurses were completely left behind.
Exactly.
And especially nurses from the Filipino background, I believe that they were completely left behind. And when you said there were more Filipino nurses passing away than non, the impact was more on the next generation. Because like Shelly said, they are the breadwinners, most of them.
Right.
What happened to the kids?
Exactly.
What happened to the
Their
the
families,
husbands, the moms and the dads that they take care of? Right? What happened to them?
Right.
And that's something where I feel like financially a lot of the retirement plans that they have at work, they got left behind.
Absolutely.
Because nobody showed them how to protect themselves. Because they're so busy protecting others.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Well, thank you for that. A lot of people have financial advisors and 401ks, right? So, what are the missing pieces, you think?
I believe the missing pieces is a lot of people today in the marketplace, they don't know where they stand. Like you said, most people, like we were sharing earlier, most people's answer is 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. The reason that is because they have a lot of missing pieces. They don't know what happens if they die too soon. What is the plan? What is the plan if they die too soon? What is the plan if they live too long? Do you want to be bedside until you're 70?
Yeah.
Right.
75? We meet nurses because we help so many healthcare workers that are in their mid-70s still at bedside. And they have kids and grandkids, right?
Yeah.
And so what happens if you live too long? What happens if you outlive your money? And number 3, I believe, is probably the worst case scenario. What happens if you can't take care of yourself? So you've spent all your life taking care of others.
And now who's going to take care of you?
But now who's going to take care of you? See, most nurses are so giving. They're so loving and caring. They never really think about themselves. So
Wow.
we feel like we can take that role in what happens if you can't take care of yourself. Who's going to take care of you?
Very good.
Right?
Yeah, that was very. Those are very crucial missing pieces. And I do know that yes, the number 2 answer on on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with understanding your financial thing, and the 2 is really very significant. So education is the key.
Right.
And then also, one of the things, like I said earlier, we do is something called an assessment. And that's something that we do complimentary for everybody. So they could get a complimentary financial assessment.
Oh, okay, so segueing to that, how is your company better equipped to help nurses better?
I think we have definitely a better understanding firsthand, because we understand like what the challenges are that we're facing. We understand what our employers or organizations may or may not be offering. And we also can provide solutions that maybe they're not offering to the nurses, or other ways to supplement what they already have. So I think the knowledge base of what they're going through, because I think a lot of advisors may think, okay, that they're okay, that they're doing fine, or maybe the nurses themselves may feel like, that they're okay. Even though they rate themselves as a 2, they think, okay, I'm good. I've got my 403. They're telling me to feed into my 403. I'm going to be okay, until they realize that they're not. So I think that for myself, the whole piece of financial illiteracy is huge. But I was naive, financially naive, to believe that I would be okay and that whatever was in place was good. And I think that that's kind of the same thought process with many people. Most nurses that I talk to, they're like, well, I think I'm putting it here and I think it's going to be okay. And I don't really know. All I know is I'm feeding into it every 2 weeks, but I don't know what's going to happen to it. So there's a huge knowledge gap. A lot of us nurses, we make the money, but we don't know how to make it work for us, right? We don't know where to invest it in a place that's safe. We don't learn about these things. I mean, we sign up for your benefits and then that's it.
And that's it.
And some don't even utilize the 403, right?
Right.
Some don't even go into that. So I feel like with our company, the fact that we sit down and we educate everyone, knowing that we don't know, right?
Right.
And spend the time for that I think that's what helps us the most. For sure. And it helped me the most because I was able to say, hey, I know that you may think that you're okay, but let's have a second opinion.
Yeah.
Let's get that second opinion to make sure maybe you are okay. Awesome. And if you are not okay, let's help you with those gaps. And I feel like that's where I was able to be placed strategically, like, okay, you could do this better, or let's stop doing that, or actually there's a better product for you. So I like that there was a solution that was outside even of my organization, because then I can take it with me wherever I go.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So what kind of educational platforms are you both involved in with regards to financial?
So with World Financial Group, you can become a member of our company, and we have financial education seminars, Zooms, We have a bi-weekly Zoom that you can come and attend. We have, educations on life insurance, long-term care, critical care, understanding of your own 403b. What's the difference between a Roth 403b and a regular 403b? There's a lot of hospitals that offer that. What's the difference between a 7702 and what's the difference between this? And so we offer those classes for all of our members once you become a member. Now, there's a lot of people that don't want to become a member.
Okay.
We also have public seminars for them. Like we're doing one right now. We're going to be it's going to be done in Fresno. It's called Healthcare to Wealth Care.
Oh, nice.
Right? Financial wellness. We do, public seminars on estate planning. How do you plan for your estate? Because now you're a nurse, you've done so well. Let's say you did a great job at saving and growing. Now, how do we pass on to the next generation? As a nurse and as a Filipina, the next generation is why we do what we do.
That's right.
Our parents, my parents, they packed up everything, literally everything, and came to this country, not for themselves, for me.
For the kids.
For the kids.
Correct.
So now, same thing. We have to do our job to pack everything up financially, so now that we can leave it on to the next generation correctly. Because when they left the country to come here, they did it right. Right? So now
sacrifice,
they sacrificed everything. So now it's our job. The good thing is we don't need to sacrifice anything. We just need to plan it properly, package it correctly, so that when our kids get it, they get majority of it.
Oh, good. Very
Yes.
good. Very good. So what do you think are maybe two financial goals for nurses? What do you think, at least two financial goals that they should have? Like, do you have any financial tips for the nurses? And say the nurses who have just entered the workforce, or say they're still nursing students. What kind of goals should these people have?
So back to what Mo was saying, number one is getting that financial assessment. I love that we sit down with our clients and with the families that we help, that we sit down with them, we do a full-on assessment, and we hit every single piece underneath that financial umbrella of what they should be looking at. I think that just that knowledge base of where you're at currently, whether you're starting out your career or you're about to retire, you need to know where you are and where you stand.
Right.
I think that's the number one, is that piece. And then number two is getting in touch with an educator who has a relationship with you. That they're going to do is not only getting the first assessment, but then following up every year, doing an annual checkup. So I think doing the assessment is great, but then you don't want to just get packed up and go, and then there's nothing left for you. You don't know where to go from that point. But you want someone to check in with you every year to make sure, we still in a great spot? Have things changed for you financially? Right? Did you get married? Did you have kids? Did you get a divorce? Whatever it may be, we want to make sure that you're still in the same spot. And I love that about our company, in that not only do they assess everything to make sure that it's the right product and the right solution for the right person, but then again, hey, is it still good next year and the year after and in 10 years and in 20 years? And I love that there's that multi-generational planning that most Filipinos need. Like, that's just part of our dynamic. I mean, just being a Filipina, I just know that in my family is everything. And so not only are we taking care of our family, we're the breadwinners, but then we're taking care of people in the Philippines. We're sending money home to our relatives there. And we're thinking about all those things. Or you have grandparents that are also helping as well. So there's a huge piece of family that's involved. And I think our nurses need to know how important they are. And they do, I'm sure. But that their importance in what we're doing for them, we want to make sure that they're taken care of. All the hard work that they have, all the hard work that they're doing, we want to make sure that all of that is protected. So again, getting that assessment and then getting that checkup is huge, and making sure that if you can't work anymore, what are you going to do? Yeah, who's going to take care of that?
And I think one of the best tips that I can give you is, so my mom has high blood pressure. I always use my mom as an example. I feel like Joe Coy talking about his mom. Right? I always use my mom as an example. She has high blood pressure. I think one of the best advice that I could give to people is, don't be like my mom and my aunt. My mom and her sister, they both have high blood pressures. They're both on 2 different medications. but yet they tried each other's medication,
Oh no.
right? She goes, "Oh, you're not feeling well today? Here, try my blood pressure medication."
That sounds
right?
like my husband.
That happens in I think all Asian communities, and just like that, we get advice from other people,
Yeah.
other nurses that are not qualified to give that advice.
Right. Right.
Right? They say, "Oh, you're doing a 403B? Oh no, you shouldn't put any money there. Do this," and they have no idea. Just like my aunt. "Oh, your blood pressure is too high? Okay, here, try this.
Try
pill."
this one.
Right? And so that in itself, along with Shelly hit it right on the money, is the assessment piece is take advice from people that know what they're talking about and they've been in business for a long time and that they are providing an overall solution
Okay.
and not just strictly selling one type of product.
Like say, here's the manual, read it, bye-bye.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what happens.
That's what most of the time. That's what happens. So you're saying, even though the nurse is fledgling, like still in the student phase, or they just got a job, or they're long in the job or retiring, you still are going to follow through and have advice for these people.
Yeah,
Correct?
and it's never too early and it's never too late.
Too late. Okay. Very good. Very
And then
good.
everybody's in a different stage in their different life. When you're first starting out, you're hungry, you got lots of student
Sure.
loans to pay off,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the mentality of, okay, I'll work 2 hospitals, 3 shifts, this, that. And then when you get a little bit older, now it's time to shift to that next level. And then when you get a little bit older than that, now you're, at that level. But on an average nurse, in my opinion, and maybe you can tell me whether I'm correct or not, feel free, is that they're right in the middle. They're still helping parents
Correct.
and they're still helping kids.
Kids.
And so they're right in the middle, and both of them, this is a core person, right? This is the root. If you think of
Okay.
a plant, right? This is
Right.
the root, and these are the 2 branches. So when Shelly and I, we approach someone's plan, we approach it that way. Is how can we strengthen the root? Because if your root of your plant is strong, the leaves, the branches, the fruit, everything
I'll
is going
be
to come
fine.
into place.
Right. That's a very good analogy, actually. That's really cool. So between here, you guys are from San Francisco, California.
We're from
and
Fresno, California.
You're from Fresno.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I think I heard all
Transamerica
too.
building is in San Francisco.
In
That's
San
why. Yeah. That's
But
why
you
everybody
guys,
thinks.
Yeah, well, we do appreciate that you came all the way from Fresno. And so, is there like a big difference you guys service or have clients outside California, right? Mm-hmm. So is it the same situation, you think?
Well, we're starting new here
Uh-huh.
in Las Vegas. We're actually currently looking to open an office here,
Nice.
another location here, and we feel like the need is definitely great. There's less resources available,
Right.
and one of the reasons we partnered up with Filipino Nurses Association is because of that. Because the more we meet, I feel like there's more education needed, right? The more the platform, the educational platform. There's a lot more nurses, Filipino nurses here, and but the regulations are similar. We're highly regulated by the state and federal, and that's why earlier I said find somebody that's highly regulated, because the more regulations they have, the better it is for the client,
Yeah.
right? The
Right.
more certifications or the more licenses or the more whatever they have, the better.
The better.
So it's better for the overall client.
Right.
Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think that also what I loved for our company was like no family left behind. And really no family left behind. I think I had like a different dynamic with the special needs piece as well as being the nurse and the family. I think that having all of that together and having the company look at all of those things and planning all of those things, I think it just made everything more clear and I have more hope for the future, as far as, you know, all that stress about what am I going to do and how's the next month or how's the next year, how am I going to do this or that. My journey is much more clear now, and the financial stress of being relieved, I think it was so helpful, for sure, that I could focus on other things.
Right.
But I think for the most part, I think it's...
Well, that's very good, and this is a personal thing for you. I know you're a full-time nurse, and you're a full-time mom. How do you, and you got into the financial education piece because of your situation.
Right.
And so how do you finagle your time?
How do you balance it all?
How do you balance it?
Well, you know, I think a lot of it too was when I sat down and had the help that I got from the company, and I sat down with Mo and he planned everything. I wanted everyone else to have that same blessing. You know, you have to share it. When your help was something that big and that impactful in your life, how do you not share that? So I was like, Mo, I kind of got upset. I'm like, why aren't we talking about this? Why isn't anybody talking about this right now? There's so many, me and so many others just like me, who, why aren't they sharing this with us? I mean, we're literally giving all of ourselves, working so hard every day, and no one's taking care of us. And we're under this, we're just so naive that we are going to be okay.
Yeah.
But I think just that piece of, I want others to have that same piece, not only for myself as a nurse, but as a special needs mom. We deserve that as well.
Yes, we do.
If we're going to
Yes, you
give
do.
so much, we deserve to have that as that peace and that protection. And I think that was just so profound. It just became on my heart. And I'm like, let's do this. So then we jumped in and we did stuff in our community. We did workshops, and then now we're doing this with PNALV and you know, even locally with ours. I mean, that information has to get out there.
Exactly.
Everybody deserves that help. Everybody deserves a
good.
bright future and hope and peace and all of that, you know, we have to stand up and do. And I'm so proud to work alongside someone like Mo, who literally just wants to help people. And our company is behind him all the way. No family left behind.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Well,
So that's why I make the time for it. Even though I'm a charge nurse and I do a lot of special needs advocacy and all of that, it's a priority.
Yeah, it is
it's
a
a purpose.
priority. You know, that's why I do this too. You know, this
Right.
podcast is a
Right.
public service project. I mean, it's disseminating the information out
Right.
there that is really important.
Right.
So that's why I'm still doing it, and nobody wants to take it over. So,
And I don't think anyone should, Doris. I think that you're
I think you
perfect.
do such a great job.
This is your purpose.
I love doing it. I love giving the people the information. I
Yes.
love meeting new people just
Right.
like you, and giving a different perspective, a new perspective in
Right.
something old, which is really good. I love that. So, Mo, is it the same thing for you personally? Why are you? How many years have you been doing this? And
I've been doing it for quite a few years.
Yeah.
This is my second career.
what's your first one? A doctor, really?
No. I was in corporate America. I worked in different types of things, and for me, it became a journey of learning. Because thank God I was blessed. I made really good money when I was younger, and throughout my life, thank God, I made good money. But then after that, I didn't know how to have my money work for me. And so for me, it became a journey of learning. And I thought, if I am missing this information, and I thought I was a pretty smart guy, right? I don't think so now. The more I learn, the more I realize I'm not that smart. So when I was first got on the journey, I thought I knew a lot. I was one of those people who go, oh, I don't need anybody to help me manage my finances. I know. I'm educated, right? And so when I realized that I wasn't, and when I did my assessment and I realized there were so many gaps, I thought, oh my goodness, how many people like me that have no idea?
Yeah.
Because I realized we don't know what we don't know,
Right. Right.
right? So for me, it became a journey, a purpose. And I was, we were doing great. And then here comes Shelly with the special needs piece. And she's also changed, her and her family have changed the trajectory of where we're going as a family.
Wow.
Right?
Awesome.
So together, my purpose is to be able to help educate people so that we don't end up with the way we ended up with. so that the next generation or people that have worked so hard in their life. You know, one thing you mentioned earlier, it made me think of when nurses change jobs so much, they leave their old money there. Or if they try to do the transfers or something, they check one box wrong, it could become a big liability.
Wow.
So one of the things that we educate people on is how to do the paperwork the right way. Something as simple as that. And so for me, it became a personal journey of teaching others what I learned, and it changed my life. That's why I love people like Shelly, because they want to serve others. They have a blessing in their heart, and I think she learns that from her mom too. Her mom is another one of those givers, is that she always says if God gave us, we should have the responsibility to give others. And so it's the same thing applied to this, is I love what I do. I do it because I want to help others. Don't get me wrong, I take the money, but that's not why I do it. I do it to educate and help and situate people in a better place.
Okay. That is so wonderful, so wonderful, so wonderful. So how do our listeners reach you? I think we can have a flyer up on the screen. You go ahead and tell us how we can reach you.
So you can reach me on my Instagram at mo.elahi, ELAHI.WFG.
WFG.
And then we're going to post Shelly's phone number. So feel free to reach out to Shelly. She's our direct contact through PNALV. And so she's going to be the person taking care of the lead on all of this stuff.
All right.
And I just sit here to look pretty. That's all.
So Shelly, what's your phone number? We'll post it on screen.
It's 559-908-3312.
Okay,
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, so there you are. You can reach these two beautiful people from World Financial Group and Transamerica Financial Advisors at those numbers. So there you go. What is your overall advice to the public regarding their financial
You
goals?
go first.
That's you.
You want to
That's
take
him.
that?
I
think
took
she's
the
asking-
nursing piece. You
Okay.
take that. You take that piece.
You can have your little. You can say something
why
as
don't
well.
you have yours and then I'll do mine.
Financial goal, I mean, again, like getting your assessment and getting your checkup, but I think really just coming to terms with where you're at. And I think those two pieces are the most important to make sure. And to really sit down and know, hey, I'm working hard, make time for it. Make time to sit down and meet with someone and to get checked. Because I think a lot of times, and even in healthcare as well, you kind of go years and years, you don't ever get checked by the doctor, and then all of a sudden you find out something is coming up.
Right.
We don't want that for our finances because other people are depending on that.
Yes.
Depending on that for their future, on their living, on everything. And being Filipino nurses, I think that we have to come to terms with that and say, hey, let's sit down, let's meet with someone, let's get an assessment, let's get checked every year, and let's make sure that we're okay so we can keep doing this.
Oh, good. Yeah, I like that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
There is a saying in the Filipino, culture saying, bahala na,
Bahala
which
na.
means, que sara, whatever will be, will be. So let's not
Let's
go
not do
there,
that.
is what you're saying, right?
Right.
Have to prepare.
Let's be prepared.
Right.
Yeah, because we deserve it and our kids do too.
Yeah.
Good.
My one advice would be, let's change our mentality. Let's change our mindset on, I don't need it, I could just pick up another shift.
Exactly.
Right.
I think it's time to change that. Pick up another shift because you want to have a better retirement. Pick up an extra shift because you want to protect your family better. Pick up an extra shift so that you can have stronger roots. Don't pick up an extra shift because you need a Louis Vuitton bag. I know every nurse.
I'm so over that.
All the nurses, our jaws are dropping.
All the nurses just dropped
What
off
did
the
you
whole
just
call.
say?
All the nurses just dropped off the call. But seriously, it's because let's take the hard work that you're doing and working for money. Let's have the money work for you.
Right.
Let's change our mindset. And that's why we do the financial needs assessment. We do it complimentary. We don't charge for that at all. So you can call us, you can call Shelly, you can call me, you can call, and we'd be more than happy to do that, absolutely at no cost and no obligation either.
Very good, very good. Well, thank you so very much, Mr. Mo Elahi, Dr. Mo, and Shelly Reyes for coming here today to enlighten us about, financial wellness. We do appreciate that, and like you said, a lot of people don't really know.
Yeah.
So.
And thank you for having us.
Oh, of
and
course.
thank you for this program.
Oh, thank you.
We looked it up. When
did?
you asked, we did, and that you have such good material. I
Thank
hope
you.
that God continues to bless you
Thank you.
with all of the amazing work that you're doing to help others. And I know it's voluntary.
Yes, it
And you do
is.
such an amazing job. And we appreciate you having us here. And I know that this is a lot of work, but just know that you're changing so many lives out there by bringing the programming that you do.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And yes, that is true. I've been doing this for years. Collaboration, of course, with PHLV Radio, who disseminates all the, the information. But there are a lot of issues, that affect healthcare issues, affect our nurses, our healthcare workers, and this is the platform for us to bring it out there. So
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doris.
Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Thank you so
I know
much.
that you guys had an event last night.
Yeah.
And that's why you're here. We just do thank you for taking that trek from California to
Of
our
course.
city.
Of course.
Thank you again.
so much.
And to our Philippine NARS listeners and followers, we leave you with this. Financial planning takes time and effort when it is done, and you make it as part of your life plan. But it can have a significant impact on your current and your future well-being. Planning is not always about having big goals or like building a huge investment portfolio or a huge retirement nest egg. It should be adaptable to your changing personal and career needs. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for giving us the privilege of your time. This is Doris Bauer, your Philippine NARS host, signing off for now.
The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada has just brought you Philippine NARS, news and features about the Filipino American nursing community and beyond.